Hello, welcome to Berndt's house. It's not mine yet, but hopefully within a month it will be. It's June the 26th. It's about 5:30 in the afternoon. It's typical Louisiana weather. We've got a few clouds in the sky, a few cumulus buildups. It's 91 degrees and the humidity is probably about 90% or better. It's hotter than hell and humid. Here we are. Road. We're facing roughly east right now, and there's my house. Got the truck and the car out front. I'm at the corner of a crossroads. There's Pete Guidry's house, and there's 3 more houses down that road. That's Spellman Wall Road. It's a dead-end road. Directly across from me, Terry Gautreau is building a house. He's just finished the siding. It's looking pretty good right now. And that's the first lot that was sold. There's 2 more lots that are for sale and another one that just got sold. This is Emery Ficklin Road. It goes down a couple hundred yards and then makes a bend. Goes down a couple hundred yards to the east, makes another bend. I haven't met these folks yet. They're right across the street. And this is Two Rose house. Beautiful Acadian style house, relatively new. Garbage day today. Their driveway and Route 431 is the crossroads there, and if you go straight it's Route 931. Quite a bit of traffic on 431, a little bit on 931, but I'm on a dead-end road, which is nice. The house next to me is Lucille, I think maybe Broussard. She used to be a Ficklin. Her and her daughter lived there. Again. Got my tractor, it only fits halfway into the shed there. Part of my truck door. From right in front of the end of my driveway. Got my bush hog out front. And there's Terry Gautreau's house. He's right across the street. So basically, I'm surrounded on all 4 sides with people, and there's going to be a lot here, and a lot right there that's been sold, and I think there's a couple more down the line too that are for sale. So there's going to be almost a subdivision across from me, and it's going to be roughly 1-acre lots each. Yard view. This is a catawba tree. Got some huge leaves on it that grow real fast. Worms like to eat them. They call this a pin oak down here. And then we've got a tree that I think is a pecan tree. Next to it, another catawba. And then another, what's supposedly a pecan again. I gotta verify that. Catawba again. Another potential pecan, a catawba, and a pecan. And then here's some of the junk that I picked out of what used to be the barn there. We'll get over a little closer to that. A lot of junk there, and there's my infamous huge brush pile. There's another pin oak, a halfway decent tree. And the electric lines go right across the property there. Air conditioner, which is louder than hell and kind of stinks. There's a grease trap down in here. And we also have a cat right here. This is Minnie. Jet vanished. I don't know where the hell she went. Vanished the first night that I turned her from an inside cat into an outside cat. And Minnie will squawk like that for about 2 or 3 hours at night. Drives me nuts. I about shot her a couple times. But she's a good cat though. This is nice. I got an outdoor water faucet. In fact, there's two of them. And there's some sort of brush right up against the house here. Where I was standing just a minute ago. This is along the back. I got my ladder there. A little shed that the tractor's in. And right next to it is the well house. I trimmed a lot of crap off these trees here. More junk in the yard. I trimmed all that down. That was all brush that was head high or better. And I trimmed down the bases of these trees, the brush around the bottoms of them. Most of these trees had brush like this growing around the bottom of them. That's one that I've got to clear out. This whole area in here was a shed area that was like a pig pen or something. And right behind it in that little open area that was where the barn was, it's full of glass and nails and nuts and bolts and every other damn thing. For some reason he stored all his stupid bed springs too. And this little catawba tree here didn't have a single leaf on it when I got here. It was totally chewed off by the worms, and within 1 week this is what it looked like. It grew back that fast. More catawba tree. More junk. The boards I'm going to burn, but all the tin and everything I have to get out of here. I don't want that laying around. More brush pile. Lucy's got a little trailer behind her place. I don't know her daughter's name, but Faye Thomas told me the two of them were wondering how old I was, and they're wondering which one of them was going to get me. But Thomas has said that with these two women, it's going to be a whole lot to love there. And boy, they're right. They're almost wider than they are high. Whoa! How's that for a little surprise? It's typical of the kind of junk that's around here. Same stuff that's in every old barn. I nailed me that snake down in here somewhere. He's somewhere up in this pile here. And look at all the vines in that tree. I tore out most of them. That's probably about less than a quarter of what was actually in there. These are ones that were way too big to tear down. I'm not going to be able to get them down for a while. In fact, these three trees here were totally covered in vines. You could literally not even see the damn trees. Well, now they're going to be able to start coming back. There's still a little bit of fence in here that I've got to clean up. A little bit of it right down in here that I'll get rid of. And I cleared all this for Pete Guidry right next door. He was the one who helped me bring the trailer back over from Corsi the first day that I met him. This area right in here used to be Emery Ficklin's garden, and it's still a little bit wet. You can see typical mud stuff, ruts left from the tractor. It's also kind of rough walking. I'm walking on a lot of old vines and sticks and stuff. But this was about head high and brambles right here, mostly blackberries and bushes and things like that. Well, brush hog made short work of that. But I've got to get this area to drain better. Typical swamp stuff in here. The tractor sinks in pretty good. It's real mucky clay soil. I took down a bunch of trees out here. Haven't cleaned them up yet. The main drainage for this section is right in here. You can see there's a ditch here. There's a ditch up here. And we're along a little bit of a ditch here. And I need to open all this up again. I opened this up a little bit with a tractor. I just flat out ran down it with a wheel. And that made it a little bit drier. And then this ditch runs out to the road. The drainage here is actually out to the road here, away from the Amite River. But the slope of the land lies to the east. Right now we're pointing south. Pete Guidry's house, he's got a bunch of junk out back there. This brush right here, this is typical of what I was cleaning out. This is exactly what it's all like. I'm running over stuff this high with a brush hog. It's 10 foot high, full of vines. You can't hardly tear it apart. You can't get underneath it to cut it down. A lot of blackberries in the middle of it. I'm not going to clear much of the stuff like this. There's some halfway decent trees in there. This stuff in here was head high or better. Inside the pine trees over there, there was quite a bit of poison ivy. Real nice pine trees. These trees are probably 20 years old, and they're that big already. Things grow real fast around here. Goes from the back behind the brush pile there. Back of Lucy's house. This fella's house, I just met him 2 days ago. Forget his name, of course. He's got a little shed back there. There used to be a little pond here that he's filling in. Actually, the pond is still there, but he's filling that in. This all here is junk that's left over here. Right now I'm standing right on the boundary of my property. It comes over a little bit further into here, but other people have kept a little bit of it mowed. Here's another look back at the house. There's one of these deer flies buzzing around my head. I'm trying to get him. This is all brush that I cleared out. This was all head higher. This is Roy's house. Roy is a refrigeration mechanic down at Seba. He's got a flock of goddamn dogs. Little yapping dogs. They kind of terrorize the neighborhood. There's a little pond right here, covered with pond scum. I guess that pretty much happens pretty quickly down here. This is a back view still of Roy's house. This is Herbert Thomas. He's the brother of the people I'm buying it from, Faye Thomas and her husband David. These are the type of rows that are out here. These used to be Emery's corn rows, I guess. Although he might have had some cane in here too. The rows are about a foot high from the bottom, and they are just hell to go over with a tractor. They're really hard on you. This brush back here, I left the hardest stuff for last. You can see how you can't even see there's trees in there. They're somewhere in there, but you have no idea where. But it all used to be not quite this high. This stuff here is 10 foot high and above. This is typical of what I cleared out right here. There's some decent pines in here, like a little stand of pines. I'm just going to leave them, thin them out, probably make it so I can drive in between them. And this is brush I've cleared out. I haven't bothered to clean up yet. I'll wait till it gets a little drier, and once I get my trailer down here, I'll pick it all up all at once. And we're full circle back to Roy's house. This is the type of brush that I ended up clearing out. You can see where the brush hog whacked it up. There were a lot of little pines in here. Brush hog took them down real well. And there's not a whole lot of grass growing here anymore. Right now I'm facing east again. Trying to give you a little bit of motion sickness here. Probably succeeding rather well. Little pine trees. This is probably about 2 years of not having been cut. Maybe 3. They put Emery, he died a year ago. They put him in a nursing home about 1.5 years ago. But folks had brush hogged it between 2 and 3 years ago. I cleared a couple little paths back through here. Again, this is the kind of stuff I was cleaning out. This is a little thinner than most of it was. This doesn't have a lot of the briars in it. You can see the vines growing on the trees. And this line right up above us here, that's a cable TV line. The thing has so much brush on it, you can't hardly, well, it's sagged about 5 feet. That's solid brush on the wires there. There's probably 1,000 pounds or so hanging on there. I hacked a lot of it down already to kill it and let it dry out. One of these days, that's about the hardest area right there that I'm going to have to clear. I'm going to clear that all out in the middle. I got a lot of it with a brush hog. And you can see I made me a little path through there already by backing through, but boy, it's hell on the tractor doing that. This is what you need the machete for. If you run up against these things, they just take your skin off. The little thorns stick right in you. Like I said, I'm leaving the hardest section for last. This is where the rows change direction. I'm now going perpendicular to the rows. This is where it's real difficult for me to clear because I can go back and forth the way I'm walking, but I can't hardly go back and forth this way. This is where I backed in with the tractor. But there's some bigger trees in here that it's hard for me to get out. Ones like these, I'm going to have to cut them down with the chainsaw and then back over top of them. And back in areas like this, there's just a solid wall of greenery. That's pretty difficult to take out of there. And back the way we came. Furthest boundary of the 6 acres, there's a fence back here. This is where we were standing right before. And I can barely get back here with the tractor without making a heck of a mess. Stumps that I took out here with the brush hog, you can see them in shadow. Sun's right ahead of us, we're facing west. There's a million of them. I'll probably go through and clip these down to just above the ground so they don't puncture the tractor tires as we go through them. Just barely on the property. You can hear anything over the yapping dogs. This is all cleared out a few days ago. Back to Herbert's house. Yapping dogs. And Roy is right in here taking the tractor out for a spin. TV line that I took down some of the, I basically cut out some of the bottom stems with a machete, and it's drying up real nice now. That line will probably come up a couple feet. Came out of miscellaneous trees, vines. Underneath the pine trees here, it's a little bit better, a little bit clearer. I backed in through this stuff with a tractor. Boy, did it tear the hell out of me. Those are all blackberries in there. This used to be Pete Guidry's little path back to Herbert Thomas's. They're pretty good friends and they used to walk back and forth, so I opened it back up for them. I'm going to clear most of this out for Pete too. We're on his property now. The little orange markers there. This is where his property basically ends. It goes from here up here to the road. He's got about an acre. Got a pool. Probably working today. And there's back to the place I'm in again. Over on the other side of Pete. There's another fella. I think they're leasing this house, but as far as we know, there's nobody there. Just got a bunch of tractors. And then there's another fella beyond that. And then the last one at the end of the road, which we can't see, was where I was going to buy it originally. There's the 20-acre plot back there. More heavy brush in here. The back side of the house here. You can see I don't mow my grass that much. This was done with a bush hog after a newly sharpened blade. Came out looking pretty good. And Pete's lawn looks just like a golf course. Boy, he's got a nice one. Nice riding lawnmower too. My lawn isn't without its problems. My little back blade has got about 3 weeks of grass growing on it. I put the tin on the sides of my tractor finally. Make it look a little better. Got the tiller and the mower here already. And this is looking along the side of the house. See, I've got to do some repairs up in there. It's the pump house. The old pump doesn't work, but the other one works fine. Kind of a mess in there. It's full of those type of crawfish and everything. I love the smooth bark on it. And it's got some pretty nice blossoms in here. Nice pretty pink ones. Got that real smooth bark. I took out a lot of it there. A lot of the dead wood, there's still some left. There was a tree here, I've got to mow that down. There was a couple more trees over here that are going to come out too. Two women walking down here are Marlene Two-Row, 2 houses down, and her cousin, who lives up the road somewhere. They go around walking. Nice door. Put that on myself. Works great for a window, only it doesn't roll down. Didn't even break the mirror. But I'm going to have a new door on there. That's going to stay the same, that damage. And that front fender is going to stay dinged in. I'm just going to replace the door. It's a good truck though. Bush hog's seen some heavy use. Saved me a lot of time. The support for the carport. Here's one carport support. Plants, you can see what I've been doing here. A little bit of riding the bike and a whole lot of working outside. Pile of gloves and stuff. There's my new truck door. Painted it with a brush. It looks okay. And here's the other support for the carport. Roof looks pretty good still. Got a couple vents in the roof. The roof is brand new after Hurricane Andrew. It's nighttime now. Here's the entrance to the house again. Screen door, something I've missed. Loud cat. Flap. This is it. We just came in. See, obviously ceiling needs work. This floor is really nice. You have to have a rack to dry your clothes because you get totally soaked with sweat within an hour. Got the fan on too, it's roasting in here. It's over 85. This is like a laundry room. I made it into basically a tool room. My first priority is clear up the land. My second priority, I think, might even be to build a garage to store all my stuff. Little shelves, halfway decent. My junk. This is the dining room area. Trash I have to throw away. This is the living room. There's another door here. TV's not hooked up to anything. Again, the ceiling is pretty yellow. Time to get rid of that. There's a ceiling fan in every room, except the dining room, where we're going to end up having to put one in there. The cabinets, they're ugly, they're functional. Someday when I got a spare $15,000, they're going to have to go. The stove is halfway decent. I haven't decided whether to replace that yet or not. It's functional. My refrigerator and my freezer, I gotta get a real one there. There's a little hallway here. This thing is the heater. This is the room where you can see where the carpet was taken up on the floor. Box storage now. I had the cats in here for a little while, and it's too bad that you can't have a sense of smell with the camera because it smells just a little bit like cat shit in here. It's a relatively small closet. Looks like it's about 8 by 3.5. Halfway decent. This is a small bathroom. I put the faucet in. That sucker's gotta go. Uglier than sin. Again, the throne of knowledge. And of course the Plane magazine's next to it. It's got a little shower stall in here. It's very small. You keep bumping yourself. Bumping elbows and everything. But it's halfway decent. Puts out a good amount of water. Faucet works great. It stays nice and clean. It's all real heavy duty tile in there. And there's a little storage back here for towels and whatnot. I just got a bunch of junk thrown in there. And up overhead here, just above the light, There's a giant fan up there. I think the fan belt fell off it though. You can hear the motor run, but nothing else happens. Apparently that thing sucks in a lot of air. And that would be nice at night because you turn it on in the evening when it's starting to cool off outside. And you should be able to get some cool air in. This is obviously another bedroom. There's another little closet in here. Let's watch my hand turn on the light, which doesn't turn on. Some of the curtains are in here. Another small closet. You can see how dark the walls are, and the doors, the molding, everything is so dark. The only thing that's halfway light is the ceiling. This place needs to have all the paneling replaced. Get some new in here. There's a small closet in here. I'm mostly making it a linen closet. There's my Lion headphones. Dirty laundry, gotta do that tomorrow. This is the master bedroom. I got my futon just flopped down on the bed. And it's got a small closet over here. Got a little bit of stuff thrown in there. Going around again. Obviously it's not quite 10 o'clock. Shotgun, always a necessity. And this is the master bath. I've never used it yet. For one thing, the sink stopper won't go down. I'm going to have to fix that. Probably replace it. Probably going to replace most of this stuff, and I'll put in probably a shower stall in here. There's another throne in here. And again, kind of trashy. Mirror, very trashy. Well, who the fuck is that guy? He looks pretty trashy too. Ha! Time for a shower. And that's the grand tour of the house. That's all she wrote. Turn off the lights as we go. It's about 1,500 square feet. Small. Pretty small, but nice though. There's a door here. There's an air conditioner back behind the fan there. That's enough to cool the whole house off, but I haven't used it yet. It stinks and it sucks electricity. The main door, there's a third door over here. So this is better than the house in Ohio. It's got more doors. It's got a little bit more area to live in, and but it'll probably be easier to repair and make nicer. There's a lot more outlets, a whole lot more outlets. None of the outlets are 3-pronged, so I've got to rewire the whole thing. I did put in the little water filter. It's got that spare faucet on there, separate faucet. Looks like a bachelor pad right now. That's all she wrote. That's the grand tour. Bye-bye.